Hi, I'm Joe Saunders with Miniature Landscape Hobbies. In this video, we're going to discuss an essential technique that will help you deal with difficult to build models. I'm talking about pinning. Have you ever had one of those models you just can't seem to build? You know, you get it out and you put lots of glue on it, you take your time, you work at it real hard, but nothing ever just seems to adhere. Or maybe the models are bearing too much weight on certain joins and they fall apart. This is pretty common with metal models or resin and metal hybrid models, and can be a real pain on large model kits that rely primarily on materials other than plastic. I don't know if you've ever tried building a Forge World kit, but if you have, you'll know what I'm talking about. One of the ways to deal with this comes as part of the model itself, and that is with posts, which are, of course, little extensions off the model parts to help them mate to their companion pieces, or with keys, which are usually just protrusions of metal or resin that mate into the part they're supposed to glue to. These sometimes will help you keep your left from your right. I primarily build Battlefront model kits these days, and they usually have this on their metal track sections so you don't glue the left side on the right side of the tank, and vice versa. But sometimes you end up in one of those situations where the mold isn't formed correctly and the pin or the key just isn't there. Or sometimes there isn't a pin or a key where you would like to reinforce the strength of the model. Well, don't worry, because we have a trick we can do called pinning. It's an old model builder's trick that is less and less common these days in the world of plastic kits, but nevertheless, it is useful, and it relies on the humble paperclip. Pinning also has the advantage in that you can use it to make parts interchangeable. Here I have an M1 Abrams by Battlefront for Team Yankee, and on these models, you sometimes want to switch the barrels out so you can get the 120mm barrel version or the 105mm barrel version. And pinning works really well for this. You can just pull the barrel on and off. So let's look at how you achieve this, how you can fix your kits using the essential skill of pinning. Besides the model itself, you're going to need some tools. First, of course, you're going to need super glue, a paper clip, and I previously worked in the office supply industry. You want a jumbo, not a gem. That is just a paper clip with a thicker gauge of wire, a pin vise, a pair of sprue cutters, a file, and lastly, it's optional, though I really suggest you get it, a bottle of super glue accelerant. The first thing you need to do is get a drill bit that's roughly the same diameter as your paperclip. Put it in your pin vise, and then select the parts that you need to pin. Take the pin vise and drill out both sections. You want to drill a fairly deep hole into both parts so that you can sink a chunk of your paperclip into it. Once you've got these holes suitably deep enough, choose one of your parts, run some glue into the hole you just drilled, and then insert the paperclip into it. And you can either wait for it to dry, or better yet, if you want to make your life a whole lot easier, just spritz it with some super glue accelerant and wait the 30 seconds for it to set. Once the pin has set in place, it should really be a rock solid bond, and you can just go ahead and trim off the end with your clippers. Now at this point, make sure you trim the pin too long, so it is too long. You want to be able to have as much pin as possible in both holes. So then you grab the other part, slide it over top of the pin, and test fit it. If it doesn't fit on the first try, which it probably shouldn't, Then you take your clippers and clip off the minimum amount in order to get it to set. You'll probably do this 3 or 4 times, but that's okay. Once you finally got the pin cut to the right length, then you can just get out some super glue, place it on the pin and in the hole on the other piece, and around the joint itself. Then just go ahead and slide it together. You can of course spritz this with super glue accelerant to give it an even better bond. After this is dried, the pin will now fasten the sections together, and you'll have a bond that's 10 times stronger than if you just used the glue alone, and will handle play for wargaming models or wear and tear that might occur in any of your displays or dioramas. Now you can go on and prime and paint your models as you see fit. There you have it, my guide to pinning. It's a simple technique, but it's very important, and it saved my life as a model builder more times than I can count. Thanks for watching. Miniature Landscape Hobbies is your source for model painting, diorama, and wargaming content. If you've not yet subscribed, please make sure you do, and press the bell button to receive immediate notifications so you don't miss out. See you next time, and remember, until then, keep building life in miniature.